Talk Mississippi. You are tuned into your radio happy hour. That's the good things. I'm your host, Rebecca Turner, and we're coming to you live from the two Mississippi museums celebrating the opening of the World of Marty Stuart exhibit. And joining us here on Good Things today is country music legend and Philadelphia native of Mississippi, Marty Stuart.
Hi.
Hey, Marty, you have had a heck of a day.
It's been a good day.
It has been a good day. It started off a little wonky, as some days can. You had a little bus trouble getting down to Jackson.
I think our bus is still in Como, Mississippi, a little south of Memphis, and with a herd of a pit crew on it. So I told Justine, our lady, I said, watch the Mississippi Mafia work. So she made one call, and somebody says, oh, I know somebody will come get you. That's how it works down here, right?
That's exactly how it works.
A good neighbor came, and John brought us down here. And here we are.
Here we are.
Just in time. 2 wheels in the driveway.
That's usually how we run things here on Good Things as well.
That's right.
But just in time, too, for the good unveiling of your wonderful statue you got to see for the very first time a couple of hours ago. Give us a little background on that.
Well, the background is we played a concert in Conroe, Texas, a few years back, 10 years maybe. And I saw a sculpture being created of a soldier. And I stood and watched it. You know, in progress. There was nobody in the room, and I stood outside the window and watched, and I thought, whoever this is brilliant. They're gifted, but I could see little thumbprints, and I thought he's inviting kids to come by and put a piece of themselves and their heart and soul on it, too. And I met the sculptor that is Craig Campobella. He is a true blue Texan, and we became fast friends, and he was inspired by a record I did called The Pilgrim. And we have, since we've met, shook hands, and done everything we possibly could to bridge the gap between Texas and Mississippi. Sometimes we're next door neighbors, but there's a big river between us sometimes. So we've done it with art, and he honored me with a statue, and he named it The Pilgrim, and I'm astounded.
It is astounding. And so as people come in to see the World of Marty Stuart, from here to the end of this year, they will be greeted by that statue here at the two museums. And then also today, Marty, you got the chance to see the exhibit for the first time. We had the honor of walking through it with you and you sharing some of the stories. But what was it like to see your artifacts put in sort of story form in this exhibit?
Well, I love it. I've seen it many times in story form, but what I've not seen, here we are in the capital city, and headed to Philadelphia, Mississippi for permanent residence at the Congress of Country Music as we build in Philadelphia a cultural center dedicated to the preservation and furtherance of country music. But to see these things come out of the boxes and to see them come out of the warehouse in Philadelphia and put into story form, and everybody ought to have a museum exhibit because they could edit all the bad stuff out of their lives, just leave all the bad stuff behind. But there are some pretty profound pieces in there, and it really touched my heart. And this Labor Day will be 50 years I've been traveling, and to see it as a Mississippi story staged in the capital city, it really makes my heart sing.
I heard that there was 354 pieces in this particular exhibit, and how many are in total?
20,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That is nuts. So over the years, I heard you use the term you rescued these items. You would see things on sets and say, that looks important. Everything from lists that the band would make in terms of the music they would play to napkins to, anything in between. What gave you that kind of just intuition to say, that's going to be important one day?
I don't know. I thought it looked important to me. It's kind of like hanging on to your grandpa's pocket knife. It's a keepsake. It's a treasure that every time you touch it, you think of Grandpa or whatever. It's the same concept, same principle. I left here, knowing that those kind of things were important, heartfelt treasures with the story attached to it. And I guess the first piece of traditional country music, treasury that I found was Patsy Cline's train case, her makeup kit, in a junk store in Nashville for $75.
Wow.
In the early 80s, and I went, this is wrong. This is just wrong. First of all, most of those people helped raise me, and it was like seeing family heirlooms, scattered around in thrift stores and junk stores and guitar shops. And it started innocently enough with that because it just looked like an important piece of something that I needed to take home, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And then it went to, a little bit bigger warehouse and warehouses and warehouses. And now we're building a cultural center around it in Neshoba County.
Which is exciting and something good that's coming to Mississippi. I know you brought somebody good here to the capital city. We're celebrating Mother's Day this coming up weekend. You have your mom, Hilda, here. You said she's, I think, 89 years young.
I think she's going to be 89 in November.
And your family, as well as her, is scattered throughout this exhibit beautifully, might I say. And when you first walk into the World of Marty Stuart and you look, there is a blown-up sort of picture of you, Marty, when you're little bitty with your first guitar and a very fashion-forward outfit, should I say. So how important was your mom in just sort of giving you the style that was Marty Stuart over the last 50 years?
The greatest asset that I have ever had in this, whole life, especially the show business life, is having Hilda Stewart as a mama. Because Hilda never became a stage mama. Mama thought just as much of my sister's efforts and her endeavors. And Hilda is just a down-to-earth Philadelphia country girl. And she has so much wisdom and so much love, so much compassion. And, again, she's the greatest asset I've ever had. But back to your question, she dressed me up in cowboy duds when I was a little kid, and I must have liked it because nothing's different now. Just different guitar and different clothes, but same guy.
Same guy, and still a grounded guy, and still throughout the world of Marty Stuart, you find these little pockets of where maybe your family came in or your faith came in and grounded you. I don't know if I've seen this many Bibles in another exhibit, each one having a meaning or being brought into your life at a specific time, from your first one your mom read to you to another one your mom sent to you with a specific Bible verse during a time in Nashville, I think. Can you share that artifact?
Well, probably the most profound artifact in that exhibit is my mother's book of Bible stories when she was a little girl, and I think our entire family was based on the stories and the characters in that Bible, and it's been a faith-based life, and she's one of those people that made her covenant with God a long time ago and has never varied. Me, that's a different story, but probably I think the piece you're talking about is after I'd been to Nashville. I was 13 years old when I went up there, got a job at the Grand Ole Opry with Lester Flatt. But after I'd been up there just a few weeks, we played at the Grand Ole Opry one night, and the security guard came by and said, "There's somebody from your hometown here that has a gift from your mother." And so I made my way to the door, and sure enough, somebody from Philadelphia was there and said, "Your mom wanted me to give you this." And she had gone to Busby's jewelry store on the square and bought me a Bible and had my name put on the front and underlined with one verse of Scripture. It was Matthew 6:33. And that's Mama's love right there.
That is Mama's love. So she gave you your love of fashion. Obviously, she grounded you in your faith. But she also helped you with your love of photography. Your mother was a phenomenal photographer.
She is my favorite photographer, and her work has been seen here at the Museum of Art. And Mama became a photography star and had her first gallery showing when she was 80, and had her book published called Choctaw Gardens, and her works hang in museums all across the nation. And she is my favorite photographer.
Now, I know that the World of Marty Stuart is over the last 50 years of your travels, but I have to say I did a little research going back and watching the old video of Hillbilly Rocks, right? And fast forwarding to 2022, I found out you have a TikTok page, which I don't TikTok, but I found out you do.
Don't either.
And you have this fabulous PR team here that's been working with you all week. I feel like we need to bring back the Hillbilly Rocks dance and make it a TikTok challenge.
Why not?
I think.
Can you dance? I can't. The truth about that dance, I said they wanted it to be a dance. I said that's a great idea. There's only one problem: I can't dance. I can cause people to dance. So we came up with a lick that was dumb as a box of rocks that I could do, and it kind of caught on. It was pretty cool.
It did caught on. I think it's time to bring it back in a new and fresh way, which I think, too, going back through the World of Marty Stuart here and then looking forward to what you're bringing to Philadelphia, the good things, which we talk about here all the time, Marty, are timeless. Faith, family, the friendships you've made along the way, the pieces that you've collected or the pieces that we all have of our friends and family. And so you feel connected to your story, even though we've lived two wildly different worlds.
Sure. Somebody told me one time, said, I don't think we worked off of the same road, but we saw the same landscape. I liked that quote. And most people that were raised in the South have that same set of pictures that my mama took of our family, or the same toys that we played with as a kid. We were all, exposed to the same kind of culture and the same kind of offerings. But hey, at the end of the day, we're just folks. We're just folks. And the thing I love about Mississippi, its greatest asset is its people. And they're, this morning, as a great example, didn't know the fellow that brought us down here. One phone call, hey, what if you guys need help on? We're there.
And before you know it, your bus will be fixed and back down here, and who knows who called in a favor and got it done in a snap. Was there ever a plan B, Marty, if music wouldn't have worked out for you?
I wanted to be a pharmacist.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't see that one coming.
I didn't either. And it didn't work out. Somebody, Larry Womble up in the North State, heard about that, and he got me made an honorary pharmacist at Ole Miss.
Well, there you go. I think the music business worked out a little bit.
I think it worked out a whole lot better.
A whole lot better for you. Well, it's been a pleasure having you here. We welcome everybody out. It kicks off tomorrow, the World of Marty Stuart here at the Mississippi 2 Museums, and we look forward to seeing what you do in Philadelphia.
Thank you.
Thank you for
You're
your time.
invited.
All righty. Well, you stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.